building a raid tower inside the compound. There's Llama here. There's no. Oh no. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Base Invaders, brought to you by Rustoria servers and sponsored by RustyPot. Today we got EU6 mans. My name is Llama77, and joined with me in the casting booth today is the one and only TW. TW, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to see some great Rust being played today. First time for me casting Rust, so hopefully we'll get to see some amazing games, have a great time, and we'll have a great time joking around with each other a little bit, I guess.
It should be a lot of fun. Just to break down the format just a little bit, obviously these players have had some time, to build up their bases. They've had 45 minutes of that phase where they can't really attack each other, just go out farm for some of those materials, build up their base in any way they wish. Now we're going to get into the attack phase where there are those patrol helicopters. They'll spawn every 10 minutes inside this one. Also, the hard point will be active, 2 points every 30 seconds for when you're sitting in that one. And then after this attack phase, we will get on over into what everybody likes to see, that raiding phase.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that, to see what's going to go on in that raiding phase. What teams are going to get eliminated quickly, and what teams are going to get those points of getting a TC down quickly. Because whenever you get those early TCs, you can get a really quick lead, just like we saw yesterday. There was a team, or the last time around, there was a team that was 6th place, I think. They got a TC and then they suddenly jumped to 1st place. So getting one of those things, it can be very valuable in the late game, or once the raid phase starts.
Exactly. Yeah. It is all about what you do in that attack phase, what you do with your time. So we're seeing some teams already over here in this hard point, putting some pressure down towards it. Again, you just have to have one player inside of it. But if there is another enemy player that steps inside of that circle, you won't get any points, but the timer doesn't necessarily reset until all of your players are eliminated. But it's like you said, getting your information out, making sure you get some early bases that are on your list to raid, to take down first. If you get to them first, like you said, 40 points can be a huge jump right away that can keep anyone back in the game.
Yes, exactly. And we already see Kayada taking 1st place early on, 9 points already taken already for them on the scoreboard. That means that they've gotten 9 points, and 2nd place has 5 less than them, or 4 less than them. That's a significant good start for them. Coming out early, taking that hard point too, if I'm right.
Is what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, it's like you said, a little bit early lead here. Obviously, it's going to be about consistency. We've kind of talked about that in the past. My interesting question, obviously, is, the last couple teams that have held the hard point here for the EU go on into that attack phase and fall just a little bit short. Maybe they aren't spending that time focusing on those TCs, and those other teams, during the attack phase, they were scouting out for information. So can this team at the top of the leaderboard holding down the hard point hold it for the rest of the game, pretty much? Helicopter has been dropped here right outside of Big Kahuna's base, right on the edge of a hill, it looks like, as well. So those crates will take some time to, obviously those fires will take some time to go out, but once they do, that is 15 points sitting there for him.
Yeah, 15 points, and that can be a huge start for any team that's able to take it. Hopefully they have the weaponry, the equipment to take it, and hopefully they're prepared, because if you're not prepared to take that attack helicopter, a different team would just come and snipe it. And getting that head start, that's 15 points, it can be very valuable.
It definitely can be. VG, they recognize that value. They're going to start sending some players on over as well. Big Kahuna, though, they do have, again, they have kind of a really nice roof, so they do have the ability to peek out off of that. And also, it's in somewhat of an awkward position kind of down the hill from them, so they have somewhat of a high ground. But VG, they want to commit some resources to it. We talk about it is 6 mans here today. You got more players on your squad. That means more resources, that you can kind of split up. You don't have to, send all 4 of your players if we were playing 4 mans over that attack helicopter. You can send half your team over and, maybe get a try towards it.
Yeah, exactly. We already see some of these players being tagged up early. Luckily, all of them have probably brought enough meds to heal themselves back up. But all of them playing a little bit passive, not committing way too much. And we do see Terrence there peeking out a little bit, taking a couple shots at your sister.
Yeah, taking a nice angle here off of that wall. We'll take some trading on the damage, and it looks like, yeah, VG, they're just trying to clear out these players at least on the bottom floor of this base. Maybe, try and get rid of those roof campers. They're obviously the most annoying part to clear out, and obviously they have the time to do so. So they have those 5 minutes until those, crates start to expire, until the fires start to go out. And it looks like they actually have control down actually where towards the helicopter landed. So we'll see if they can get cover down there. That's the most important thing. But, you talk about, oh,
Right, yeah.
VG is
Yeah,
no more
no,
down there.
that
They'll only have
control's
the 2
already
players
gone.
over the top of the hill.
They're just getting cleaned up at this moment. But of course, what can you do if there's bed on the roof of that base? Even if you get a kill, he'll just instantly respawn.
They'll be able to respawn. They'll be able to get those kits back. That's the hope. Obviously you have the high ground, you have the base up top, so that's pretty much what you want to do with your base. So we'll see. Cavalda, they're gonna looks like to hold the hard point still, so they're gonna be jumping up. Obviously 24 points right now, not the hugest of leads, but it is at least something for them to work with right now in first place. VG, they still got some players down on the low ground here on the bottom side of this hill, though, just trying to deal with the roof. I mean, that's like you talked about. It's the biggest thing. They have that angle, they have so much line of sight over this whole area. But it looks like VG, those crates are starting to expire, and they are right there.
Yeah, the crates are the fire's really starting to expire. They might be able to take this if they are lucky. It all depends on if okay, one of the big G players already gets eliminated. That fire is slowly burning down. They might really have a chance to just rat this out and get it.
I think that's the plan. They have some nice angles, and a good trade there is going to take one of the big Kuna players down to 11 HP. I believe they got knocked, not 100% sure, but we got another team that is coming in to clean it all up. It is, oh man, what a beautiful angle. I mean, Big Kahuna just didn't have the angles to shoot him, but this third squad will come in, wipe him on out. One player of VG, though, is looking to take some
There's nothing
crates.
he can do.
Not a
He
couple.
did get those points.
Yeah.
He did get those 3 points. So that's
Didn't
at
get
least
all.
something.
That is something. We'll see if obviously another squad going to come on into this one, try and steal away those last crates. But Big Kahuna is going to pick up at least some, kill points off of this in total, just because there are 2 squads. They hopefully, like you said, they have those beds right there. We'll be able to respawn, and hopefully we'll be able to, get some angles on this.
And I don't know why none of these big G players are trying to push out towards these crates, because the flames are really starting to expire here. They need to get out, get those points. And all the VG players seem to be down already, so it's all about F9 being trying to take those crates, as there's only 1 flame left. Oh, there's actually is 1 more VG player. He's getting close to Ducky here. Almost gets the timing. But now he's been spotted, and he's gonna get he's gonna get eliminated immediately. Oh, the fire is down now. And it seems like Big G have almost cleaned it up. Only 1 F9 player left, or 2 F9 players left. Katsuna now going for the play. Already gets 1.
Yeah, trying to go down and clear these players on out. Like we talked about, those crates already up and expired. Most likely the points already claimed all around. VG, pretty huge for them. Not going to lie, they didn't have a lot of points to start out those early couple minutes. But, approaching about a third of the way through our attack phase here, they're going to be sitting down at 6th place. So not a horrible place to sit. They'll walk away. They'll obviously lose some of those kits, some of those guns as well. But Big Kahuna, they are the big winners of this. They'll be able to pick up all those guns, all those kits as well. Hopefully get some of that loot from those crates and, bring that right up on back to their base.
Now we're going over to the hard point. Let's see who's holding that. It seems like Kivalda is still on it. They've been holding it that entire time while the other fight was going on.
Yeah,
A
They've just
bit
been
of a
holding it down, still sitting in first, but there is some other players here, which means they aren't going to get any points at the moment. Too Rusty, it looks like, going to be the other team around, and we've seen this in the past that Too Rusty actually going to pick up a big kill there. But you have 6 players on your team. If you commit one of those players, it's not that big of a deal to just go hide in the hard point, sit away, hide away, and they don't earn any points, but you're stalling out their points, and it's only one player to you.
yeah, and so Rusty, they're able to get it.
Yeah,
All, all of them getting on that hard point now. They're gonna be able to secure some points now.
and
Not
it's
really sure where they are on the scoreboard. Is that them on the third place?
next patrol helicopter. Gonna be inbound to Rusty. Looks like they're sitting at 11th right now, so starting to pick up some points as well. Like you said, could use some. Obviously, it's gonna be a very tight leaderboard going into the raid phase. That's what we usually see, and it will obviously come out to getting those 40 points from those TCs. But that second patrol helicopter will be another 15 points that teams can pick up. To Rusty though, see if they can hold down this hard point for longer. See if they can get themselves some points and hold off this number 1 team that has held it for so long.
Yeah, exactly. They're really close to breaking their way into the top 10. And once they start breaking into the top 10, it's all really tight over there. So they should easily, or if they're able to hold this for another 5 minutes or so, they should easily be able to get in between the fifth or sixth place. And that's a really good position going forward into the game.
It would be a huge position. Obviously, again, you gotta. I like also that they're only committing 4 or 3 players, I believe, on the actual hard point. So, I'm hoping there are other players. Obviously, you usually have a builder in the team composition. Usually has someone that actually knows the full base design. That's going to be, building up all those walls for you. So probably that's one player. But I hope they're, putting 1 or 2 players to scouting. We saw this kind of last week that the players that gain the most information in this attack phase set themselves up for victory going into the raid phase.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're able to just set yourself up in a base and know another team's base layout, and then know exactly where to go through in order to get that early TC down.
Oh,
And those 40 points then coming out, he just about was able to get on there.
missed one of the players, but got one in nonetheless here. And like you talked about, it is all about pressure and offense early, and this is going to be huge for FXX. Just ending up top here, counting on out.
Chilling, and the turret is unfortunately off. They might be able to turn it on from inside, now knowing that he's on top. He's
Yeah.
probably just gonna steal all of their loot over there.
And it's loot, but it's also, it's roof control. We've seen this from players that the roof is a very key point of defense from the base. You own the roof, you almost own the whole entire thing. You own their peaks. You own pretty much the ability to stop them from building out. So DBZ, I don't know where their players are actually right now. They only have one inside the base, but you can see that outer wall not fully built up. They have easily gotten into this one. Like you said, the turret offline as well. So, this could be a really easy raid from FXX if they hold this roof for 17 minutes. It would be a tough task, but they could do it.
Exactly, and Straffy actually is on the ground, just giving that ground support, making sure that Hashimara is able to just do anything he wants on top. Toss that C4. Yeah, he doesn't know, I think. No. Oh, now he's seen him. Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
finally. Finally gets that kill, and we'll continue to secure the roof. We'll see if FXX can continue to hold this. Again, DBZ, I don't know where the rest of their players are. I don't know if they don't have the rest of their players, but right now they only have one inside. That's not great to defend. Only one player on top. If you imagine it's 6 man, if you have more players there, you could probably go clear that player out. I also don't know if they have actual guns or full kits on inside of their base, and maybe it's all on the top of this roof.
They probably just have guns in there. They just don't want to use them for that player up there. They just want to make sure that he keeps busy and he just does his thing. Because all of the other players are perhaps just roaming around, maybe just trying to get points on other places of the map. And you don't really want to waste kits if you don't need to waste them.
Right. Yeah, don't want to lose those resources if you don't need to. FXX, though, they are in multiple places. Obviously, this DBZ team is trying to defend their base. Other teams now noticing that FXS has taken a liking towards their base, so they're putting some walls down towards this base as well to see if maybe they can get some pressure as well. HGM, though, it looks like HQM, excuse me, have actually, overtaken that first place position, 43 points at the moment, halfway through this attacking phase right now. FXX doing a good job of cleaning up some players, getting some PvP points for themselves, and obviously, it looks like they need it. I mean, not in the top 10 right now. Obviously, if they set themselves up for a TC, you talked about it before, you can jump from last to first almost with one TC.
Yeah, exactly. And HQM actually the one that's opposing them. They're first place somehow. So that's gonna be a tough mountain for FFX to climb. FXX to climb, yeah. And you just see him getting cleaned up one by one.
Gonna head on over towards the attack helicopter, the remnants of what is left of it here. It looks like perfectly landed outside of the team Slick's base, so they will have some early pressure. It actually looks like nobody else is around at the moment. Some other teams coming from some other bases, walking very slowly, and obviously fires on that helicopter. Obviously, they'll take some time to respawn, so teams do have some time to get on over, but actually Slick is pushed up really far towards this enemy base, so they have a lot of angles, they have a lot of line of sight, and, they should be able to hold this team off, but, this team might be able to place some walls. Obviously, those walls are temporary. They only last for about 10 minutes, and then you have to replace them down. They do kind of break down out in this open field. But for right now, some really good cover, and we'll see what Slick can do with it.
Oh, and almost all of the ground support is already down. But of course, we can look at, of course, remember that helicopter position where it's down. It's just so close to their base. They're going to be able to defend that from on top of their base at all times, no matter what.
They will have those roof beaks. They will have that ability to just walk out. And, talk about walking out is Armin, who is just really good on these swings. Does lose a player there. Beautiful from Slick. But, able to, use that communication. That's what we see a lot from these players. They'll take down yet another here. Just getting different angles, double swing with players, and making sure that at least you get a trade if you lose a player of your own. And yes, Slick does have the advantage of having their base right next to it. But Armin, they want to get right next to it as well.
Yeah, they're getting closer. Some sick players just trying to go out, trying to find a kit. It's not pro, so it's gonna be peaked. He just about doesn't survive, but that's all of the ground support down. Well, no, actually, yeah, they already spawned back. They already got some kits back.
They're just going for it.
Yeah, why not? Why not grab those points if you can get them?
Why not? That's for sure. Grabbing those crates here for Slick. That's going to be some huge points. Still 2, I believe, on fire. So they'll be able to get those in just a short amount of time. But some extra loot for themselves, some extra points. That is definitely much needed. And Slick with that, I mean, we got to see these last couple crates. We'll see if it actually does jump them up anymore. But right now, second place with all those crate claims.
Yeah, exactly. If they're able to take all of them, then they're going to get to first place. And yes, exactly, they take it. Just 1 point difference between them and HQN, though.
Very, very close. Obviously going to come down to that raid phase. That's the most important thing. Still 12 minutes of this attack phase left for players in a swing here. Going to go through Armin. Very clean here on their angles. Slick, though, doing some damage. Takes one. Looking around the corner for the second. Armin is just too clean with it. At least gets a 1-for-1, 1 PV point to each other. But some more players swinging on through. Armin going to swing around the corner and look to pick up another. Very low HP. There's another player from Armin there to assist.
Yeah, they're just all able to go very aggressive now that the helicopter points have been taken. But all of these Armin players cleaning it up nicely, making sure that they get those last points. Even though they're not yet on the scoreboard, they really need those points no matter what.
Yeah, really need them. That's for sure. We'll see what they can do with it. Obviously, right here, right next towards this other base, I would imagine Slick would be their first target. So now, the gears kind of change for both these teams. It changes from patrol helicopter towards, okay, we got to think about raiding. We got to think about this raid phase because you want to take out your neighbor first. It doesn't sound like the nicest thing, but you take out your neighbor, that just means more area you can expand over, more safety you have if you leave your base. And we are taking a look at what is not safety from DBZ FXX right now. Looks like to own their entire base.
Yeah, FXX, they've been holding on to it for such a long time. Hashimura still on top there, being such a nuisance, beaming everyone that comes into his sights. With the FXX being able to hold on for that long, for that long, they've been able to get their way to get themselves all the way into 10th place.
Yeah. And getting into 10th, but like you said, one TC here could immediately jump them up the leaderboard. They got to hold for 10 more minutes. It'll be a little bit rough, but DBZ not finding any luck. I think a lot of their kits, like we've talked about, up in those top chests, so not able to get up and grab them, just kind of starved for resources here. I'd like to see, though, HQM as well are in the area, so they might kind of, put towards it. It will be FXX that will kind of need to clear out this raid pretty quickly, just because, HQM is a very strong team. You see Joker over there as well on that team. So, they are a team that could possibly come in and steal this raid if you're not careful, if you're not clean with it.
Exactly, and I think that's what HQM has just been building up here the entire time. They've just been waiting, not fighting it too much, making sure that they're able to just get the points from their base, and then once this raid will start coming down, they're just gonna completely focus on it. Their base is built perfectly for it. So once it starts, once everything is gonna start to go down, they're just gonna be trying to counter-raid that, and then maybe even take the raids for themselves.
That would be the plan, that's for sure. They got a nice base. That is definitely one of the things. They got a nice little chonker here. Obviously, it's 6-man, so we're going to see a little bit bigger bases. But with 6-mans, the pressure can mount a lot quicker. With 3 or 4-mans, you're only having, obviously, 2 or 3 players rocketing. But with 6-mans, you could have 5 Rocketeers, 6 even if you're crazy, going towards one base. That is a lot of rockets, a lot of pressure. And the bases may be just a little bit bigger. We're talking about bases. We haven't talked about the footprint yet. So this will be a little bit more prominent in that raid phase. But after the build phase, you get a footprint pretty much of your base, and you can repair those walls that you did, but you can't really build out on top of it. So once you finish off that build phase, it's gonna lock that base pretty much in place.
Yeah, and we're now gonna head towards a fight going on somewhere else on the map. AFK here, just going right over to Uffenham's base. Wait, I am having a hard time reading this. I don't have my glasses on.
It's okay. We'll just call him Oof. Some teams like to jumble their words. They also got a nice little helicopter on their roof if they do want to travel far distance. And they're traveling right now on foot. They're building out some of those, walls out towards that open field. Don't just want to run through no man's land, but those walls again will expire in due time. But for right now, pushing out, getting some kills again. A lot of teams in the area right now. AFK and OTF also getting active on the scoreboard and out on this field. So we'll see what this squad of Oof can do. They got 2 players, actually looks like 3, so sitting out, kind of splitting their resources right now, making sure they finalize their base. But also, they're taking so much damage, so many angles on this squad. But AFK, they can't get to fight them either, as our last patrol helicopter comes inbound.
Yeah, and it seems like all of these bases, once again, they're really close to each other. So once that raid phase starts coming in, a lot of these teams are just going to be raiding each other and making sure that your close neighbors, they're down, and that you have more space to control. Going into the later stages of the game. But as well here in the early stages of the game, since you have your bases so close to each other, you can just keep on fighting each other, keep on getting points off each other, and make sure that you are constantly farming some points and keeping yourself in the contention for once you get those points of raiding ATC, to immediately take first place or come in the top 5 at least.
And that's huge. It's the consistency factor. You know, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon for these teams across the entire event of EU today, where they need to just stay consistent. They need to be out getting PvP points because we've seen these tournaments decided by 5, 10, 20 points. That can be a very short amount, and it could be just a couple of kills, a couple of aggressions here. This final looks like patrol helicopter going to land right next to VG's base. So a team that put down some pressure towards that first patrol helicopter, got some of those crates, is now going to be looking at another possibly free patrol helicopter. I don't see any VG players actually here, but it doesn't look like anybody else is here as well.
I think they're just fighting from from a bit further away, trying to get some points over there, and then they'll just have someone go out or on the roof, and he'll just watch it for a second.
Yeah, they're pretty alone. I don't 100% know where they are right now. Nonetheless, F9 will be pushing out a little bit towards it. Looks like they will as well try and put so some of the VG players over here trying to zone off F9. It looks like actually F9, they've built up a raiding platform here, so they want a little bit further respawns. They want to have those crates up for them as well. But one player VG just kind of lurking on around as we approach 5 minutes left in this attack phase. Talk a little bit about the leaderboard. Slick sitting in first place right now. We saw Cavalda, they were holding that hard point a little bit, sitting in third at the moment. And two Rusty, you mentioned them. If they were able to hold this hard point, they jumped themselves to the top 10. They're sitting in sixth right now.
6, that's already huge for them. Just within a couple minutes of them being able to hold it. But of course, Slick just still there in first place, being 20 points ahead of HQN. That's a huge lead, a lead or a point difference which no other team has in this game. All of the teams are really close to each other, but Slick, they have a 20-point advantage somehow.
They have been out. They've been grinding for those kills. And as a reminder, obviously, you get the winner at the end of the attack phase that holds the highest point value sitting in that first place position will get that extra 10 points, boost themselves a little bit higher on the lead. But again, you're kind of getting towards the end of this attack phase. We're going to get some demolition. We're going to get some raiding on soon. And, it's information. It's a big information game here. You got to get some players scouting. You got to get some players outside of your base because 40 points, again, for any team could really boost them up.
And there we go. This VG player is going to be taking those crates, going to be taking those points, making sure that they get probably in third place right here. They've hit the top 3. And they're going to be pretty close to that second place too. So once a raid phase starts coming in, I hope they go for a raid or something just to make sure that they can keep that lead and extend it forward, maybe even contest for that first place position.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for VG that, like you said, they get that raid. There's only actually one base here by them on the map. So I'm hoping that they can take out that base semi-quickly because they're going to need to travel to longer distances. They're going to have to set up raid platforms. They might even have to use, some transportation like those helicopters to get them over those long distances. And, we've kind of seen this in the past, that there are kind of two kinds of minds thinking about, placing your base next to others. Yes, you get a lot of bases that are going to be right next to you. The availability to raid is going to be a lot higher, but the chance for you being taken down is also a lot higher. So VG, for them, they're going to be over kind of isolated. They don't have as many bases to immediately raid, but they will be a little bit safer because they are so isolated.
Yeah, it's just a game of late game versus early game, trying to go for some early game raids or just trying to survive it into the late game, or making kind of just making sure that you're able to get into that late game pretty safely.
And for these teams that are kind of bunkered around with each other, I mean, we talk about six mans, with maybe three or four, that pressure, isn't too much when one or two teams are on you. But for six mans, I mean, you talk about one, two, or even three teams on you, that could be 12 or 18 players pushing at you from different sides. So it could be a lot of pressure. And when we talk about pressure, we talk about FXX, the team that was holding down pretty much the entirety of this base, only now has two players here. One here actually that's been taken down on the outside, one on the top. So HQM, they put some players, put some resources down, but FXX, they still got that roof peak. They still got a kill towards their name. And in a minute's time, I mean, they only have one player here, but again, early 40 points is definitely a possibility. They have held this roof for 20 minutes now.
Exactly, and I'm wondering if they perhaps have a little attack helicopter or something, so that they can safely get on that roof and make sure that they can raid from the roof down. Because then what can HQM do then? They're just gonna have to go for the full-on defense and hope for luck.
They are HQM. They're still running on over from their base. Little ways away. Still don't see, I believe it is DBM, the team that was inside of this base that owned it. But FXX, they own it right now. They own the roof again, the key point. They own a lot of their loot as well. So we'll see what they can do with it. Only one player here right now. Going to spot out the other HQM player, it looks like, who is building some walls to try and safely get there. And with this roof design, it's kind of hard to ladder up. It's kind of hard to get up there. But hard points are no longer active. We are in the raid phase now, and already some demolition going down through from this FXX squad. They're going to break through these doors on the top floor and look to, like you said, raid from the top down, get as much information as possible.
Yeah, and Hashimara has had a lot of time to think about what he wanted to do here with this raid, and he just knows exactly where he wants to start going down to.
Yeah, we'll see here. Looking to go through the core at the moment, and not a lot of doors. I'd have to say, not a lot of things blocking off this rotation down through the core if that decision is made. And honestly, our observers can only go where there is open doors or where there's open space to go, and it's pretty much down through the entire core.
Yeah, exactly. And HQM, the second place on the scoreboard, they might just lose this really early on. I mean, I don't know. They just have to respawn now, and they have to try to contest this, because these FXX players, they want to take this and they want to be quick.
Looking to be faster. The DBZ players, they're respawning inside their own base. They're trying to lay down some sort of defense, but FXX, they are relentless right now. They're holding down the top floor, and they are starting to move on down. They're going to recognize what we recognize, and there it is. It's going to be DBZ. The first team eliminated FXX. Very good job to just get control of this base, and I believe it was just down in that one protected door. Yeah, I mean, it had to be unfortunate for them. FXX, huge points on the board. Slick, they built themselves up a big enough lead, obviously getting the extra 10 points for being number one at the end of the attack phase. So Slick going to be sitting number one. FXX, though, huge jump on the leaderboard. Also, it's going to be HDMI going to be eliminated. Draguba here is as the second team.
Again, I feel like they probably made the exact same mistake as HQM did. Just committing too much towards fighting at other places and not really strengthening your base, and just let another team absolutely run over you. And that's a stupid mistake to make, in my opinion. You shouldn't be making that mistake. You should make sure that your base is fortified, that you're ready, that you're able to go into that late game, especially when you want to fight. When you want to fight later on, just commit one or two players to strengthen that base, make sure that all of the doors are on, and then once that initial raid phase come down, respawn everyone, and make sure that you're ready to defend it. And those teams just not setting it up at all.
Yeah, and
it's
it
gonna
honestly,
cost them.
it could also be the team's rating. There are definitely some experienced teams here in the lobby today. They could have, the early you try to pester someone in the attack phase, maybe they can't get some of those walls up. Maybe they fully can't repair their base up. And that could be what some of these experienced teams have been doing to some of maybe the newer teams in the lobby here today. But nonetheless, we got a raid going on as well. It's going to be no rocketing. They are sending everything towards this base. A little bit of an interesting design, I would have to say. They got some kind of different houses up on top, a little bit chunkier on the shooting floor and then down to the core. But no, they are already breaking on in a lot of walls, though, on the outside here to protect them.
Yeah, but I absolutely love this tower, to be honest. If these FP7 players can just get in it and start shooting down on all of those raiders, they should be able to easily hold down their base. But OTF, they're already on their roof and they're just hitting it fast. They're getting attacked from two sides. What can you do here if you're FP7?
It's tough. There's two obviously 6-player teams attacking from both sides, and like you said, they have lost most control over their main base. They have an interesting little guard tower here off to the side that they're gonna be holding down. That's really all they have here. It's actually going to be the star there, going to be eliminating Bold. So a couple teams picking up some TCs very early on. FP7 could be the next ones to fall. They're just holding down this guard tower, which is obviously not going to be the best if you're, that's probably not where their TC is.
Exactly, but these OTF players, they're down low in numbers. Only 2 of them left on the roof.
Sure.
They're gonna have to hold this down for a little bit, or just and wait for their teammates to come in, and the cavalry already arrives. As there's still 2 remaining on the roof, and these FP7 players trying to come in closer, they're just gonna get down one by one. So there's return to the raiding.
They got some turrets, it looks like, as well. Nice.
And that's a huge kill. That's a huge kill for that FP7 player, making sure that Rats is able to get out of there.
Yeah. Embeds here, some crates down.
A bit of a mess.
That's a mess. It's kind of just they threw everything on in here to this one. Some of the walls there, some of the doors on open as well. So got some ladders up. It is just, it's something, that's for sure.
It's confusing, but it's meant to be confusing. I feel like making sure that that your enemy raiders just don't know where to go to at all. And is it me or did I just see that OTF got eliminated? Oh, OGF just got the base. That's gonna propel them into first place. 131 points, but this time the top 3, they're a little bit closer to each other. HDMI and Stick, they're still just inches away from perhaps taking that lead.
They're sitting right very close. OTF, they're hoping to pick up some PvP points too on the exit, but we got even more raids going down here. Only 7 minutes in, we've already had, I believe, 4 teams eliminated. So we'll see if we can get another going here as the raids will continue on forward. Lots of boom going down right now. We got Big Kahuna on the side who have, it looks like, a raiding platform as well, trying to raid this base. Down in the middle here over by the river, we'll see, it looks like they're going to send some players out. They're going to try and clear it, but they're just going to get caught here. No real chance to get out.
Yeah, the ping div players cleaning it up. Now they're going to send 3 players in there to maybe get onto that roof and take control over this. Kahuna's players still taking, or the Big Kahuna players still taking it slowly, keeping in distance, shooting all of those rockets in there, making sure to do a lot of damage towards that base.
Yeah, that is the plan. Shoot some rockets, get some damage down on those soften up those outer walls. As you've seen, they have already done a lot of kills going down in this area, though, so a lot of noise being made as well. We kind of see this, when one raid kind of starts on, you kind of get the dog pile from other teams. They hear the sound, they're interested, they want to go over, and they're like, "Oh, this base is already half destroyed. We could possibly come in and steal it." But they're trying to do the best they can. On this defense, they have lost some of their outer wall, but nobody really inside just yet. They have some players inside their outer compound, but not inside their base just yet.
And these ping diff players still just keeping their distance, making sure that they're not gonna be able to get gunned down by those players up on the hill. As Zone Top currently still has control over the top of the base. But it's slowly being chipped down, bit by bit. As we'll maybe soon see some rockets come in again. Yeah, there we go.
More and more rockets going to fly on out here as, like you said, Saw still going to hold down their base, holding down the roof as well. You know, at this point, you know, if you can get some players swing out like they were trying to do, you can clear out some of these rocketers, you can start to repair. Obviously, repairing it takes some time for the health of those, you know, walls to be fully rebuilt, but they can block a rocket or two. They can be there to help save your base just a little bit. But right now, at least they hold on to their roof, a key power point towards this base. They still have a lot of their, you know, they still have a lot of their kits. The base is still looking pretty strong, but, you know, 2 teams still raiding. It's a lot of pressure to work with.
Yeah, Big Kahuna taking their time with raiding this, making sure that all of those shooting floors that are dangerous for them, once they start getting closer and once they start going for that TC, that they're all down and that they cannot just be shot from those. And then they should be able to even raid it from the floor down instead of having to take the top.
That is 100% true. HDMI, they're going to take another raid here, successful here. And that is huge. HDMI, they were already in that race for first, now going to extend their lead and, you know, just contain it. You know, hold on to this one. Really good job scouting for this squad. Already 2 successful raids on this raid phase in 10 minutes. So huge for them. But nonetheless, Saw, yeah, like you said, still holding down this top head of the snake of this base here, as they still have a lot of those chipped up roofs, able to get those roof peaks down. That's going to be the key thing for them to hold this base and hopefully just clear out the resources. You know, you can only take so much with you towards those raiding platforms. You can put those crates down, but, you know, once you run out of rockets, once you run out of kits, that's the whole job of Saw, to starve you out of those resources, or maybe even clear them out, you know, take those resources away before they can use them.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like a big ping, they're starting to move in closer and closer now, but they haven't yet cleared it out well enough. The sword and top players on top, holding it down, making sure that their fortress is safe, as there's only 1 player left on this bottom floor. Your sister still holding it down. But Cody's peeking. He hears those footsteps. Because it seems like they're still just trying to avoid being shot down. And she's gonna survive even longer, now spotted out. The position is known.
Some pressure here. AFK, they're going to be eliminated by OTF. So OTF, again, another team in the horse race here, is going to retake their lead. So a race between them and HDMI, very, very close at the moment. But, you know, we talked about these raid points. We haven't yet talked about defense points, which will come in. You know, if you successfully defend a raid, it is based on, like, the time they are fully raiding. So once all of those attackers are cleared out, you'll be getting those points. So it should be a large chunk of points here for Saw if they can end up clearing out all of these players. And they're doing a good job of it right now. There is still a couple rushing into their inner compound now.
Yeah, so on top being able to hold it down pretty cleanly. It seems like they were really prepared for this raid, making sure that they play for the long game, making sure that ping diff, or that once ping diff starts coming in, that they're ready and that they still have enough kits left. Just holding it down from on top of their base the entire time.
Well, we're going to move on here towards another raid. We'll see a lot of them going on the map, so we will check it out. So it's going to be Armin here on, I believe, the defense. So check over on another base going. That is raiding right next to them. It's going to be Dolg. That is right there. So yeah, team, they're going to be right here, right on the outside of the base. They're looking to get inside. So Dolg, they're on the defense. They got a nice kind of skyscraper looking build here, as some builds here out in the field. Or yeah, as they already have some players on through. They're rocketing once again, trying to break through that outer shell, but looking like a really strong base at the moment.
Exactly, it's such a tall base and all made out of metal. It's gonna be so hard for Yet to break through all of that. But the rockets really starting to come through. Chip damage going through bit by bit. Yes, they
That'd be
haven't yet
interesting.
shut down the other wolf though. So I wonder if they're just going for the chip damage early and they're gonna destroy those later on, because that can be a bit of a problem getting rid of those, having to get rid of those later on, and having to get closer to those then.
Yeah. Definitely can be. They're kind of open up themselves a wall, like you said, to make sure they can ladder up, make sure they can get something in here. They got some of their refiners actually outside of their compound. So we've seen that a little bit before. It provides for a tighter compound, but also means if you are cooking up anything in those, enemy teams can go in and steal it. But it's walling up here from, yeah, they want to get close. They are touching this outer compound wall now. They think their damage they have done is enough. Obviously, a lot of shooting floor control still there, but they have blown a lot of the protection off of it for those players that want to, hold that roof, hold those peaks here. And they're going to send some rockets, break through this compound wall, and this is their green light to start going. They're going to swing together, beautifully taking down the first. Now they're going to look to try and maybe enter through the bottom floor or ladder up to where they destroyed. Yep, so it's going to be a ladder up to right where they rocketed on in.
Exactly. It's hopefully they've brought enough boom, because it seems like this is a really strong base, but they're immediately just
Wow.
they're able to go really deep, and that's okay. That was quick. We built
Yeah.
all of that up, and it was just over within seconds. I feel like it was once again one of those bases that just wasn't reinforced tight enough.
Oh.
Yep, exactly. There wasn't even a door in there. Yeah, I don't see a door frame.
Yeah,
So
they
they
must
just
either blown it off or just like you talk about fully reinforced on the other side. So they found the way that the one team wanted to enter it. Obviously, there has to be a door, a window, or an open space to enter through towards that GC. And like we talked about, color me surprised that base I thought was going to stand for longer, but yeah, they just go in and they clean that up huge. And talk about a team that needed a TC. Yeah, definitely did. I mean, now up on 100 points, triple digits for them, and it is sixth place for themselves.
exactly. And now here in this fight, we see HQM once again searching for some points, as they have fallen down a little bit. They were earlier on. They were towards that top three. They've already fallen out of it, and they need some points in order to get them back there. This time, going for HHH. They spotted their target, and they know how to take them down. Having those beds there too, it's gonna guarantee that all of them are able to spawn in there really early on, and they seem to be prepared for this raid.
Yeah, they got the rating platform, that's for sure. Obviously, like you said, HQM, very, very experienced team. They got Joker over there as well. So hopefully they are getting ready to take some points. Obviously, this raid phase is long. There are some points of slump for some teams where they're preparing or doing other things. And, maybe not getting points, but that's important. Is just staying consistent, getting points where you can. And it looks like they are going to rocket where they can, starting to take down some of these outer defense. FXX had a couple players in the area. It looked like immediately cleared out, though, by HQM right away. So we will see how this defense goes. Just going to start to rocket some of those beds. Just try and take those out. Try and take out some of the cover on the roof again. The roof, a major choke point of the base, a major power point. So see how HKM tries to dissect this base.
And it seems like most of them are already down. The beds are pretty much exposed right now. A rocket or two could take all of those beds down, and then there's just no respawn points. And all of that boom is just for the taking. Joker having to do it all.
Yeah, Joker going to
And
respawn here.
they're already repairing their base.
Yeah,
HQM kind of losing it a
little
bit.
bit wide.
Yeah, but they're getting closer.
Yeah. Shooting them towards these beds, like you said, trying to destroy them. Some walls going to be built back up here by Joker. Obviously, it's only, like I said, they take some time to build on up. So if those rockets come in, could easily destroy those beds. Do not know how much kits they have left here. So we'll hop on over to another raid that's going on nearby. It actually looks like HKM, a team that it has been very consistent, is On the defense now, that's why they might have had to back off that raid just a little bit. It is FXX kind of counter raiding. They're doing a good job, though. They sent players out early here to try and get some of those kills. They have 2 players up here on the outside of their walls, and it's just one more FXX player, and honestly, this raid will be crushed.
Yeah, exactly. HQM seeming like a very good defensive and offensive team. No matter what, the balance in between what they can do is just so good, as they just were almost able to raid. They've been able to get a raid or 2 done already. Now defending their base from a raid while just coming back from being at a raid, and maybe even still holding on to that later on, so that they can come back and take those points on and take HHH down. But it's all about how fast they are with FFX here, with FXX here, taking them down, making sure that this raid doesn't come through.
They need to stop it. They need to shut it down. And sometimes, with 3 or 4 mans, you have to commit almost your full team towards a raid almost every time. With 6 mans, usually you can leave 1 player back. I like to call them like the siren player. They just sit in the base, and anytime a wall is breaking, they go, wee woo, we got invaders, and we gotta get back, guys.
I would technically perhaps call him a lurker. Maybe like in gamer terms, I would perhaps call him a lurker, because in Valorant, CS, Rainbow Six Siege, you have that player that just stands behind and he just kind of lurks in terms of staying behind. I feel like that could perhaps be a good way to call it, but I like the siren though. Just as the moment something happened, it just starts beaming like a siren.
Yeah, it's in the comms too, like they're just having like the most dangerous comms. They're like in a raid, they're screaming at each other, and the players, wee woo, we got invaders, guys, we gotta get back, our base, it's under fire. And that's important, to make sure that you aren't losing your base, that you have somebody back. Obviously with 6 mans, you have the extra player to do so.
Exactly, and that is so important to have. As 2 Rusty's based, it's getting taken down. OTF getting really deep into it already. Just gonna have to see if they're able to take that TC. It's so open though.
Yeah, that's some wind flow, Maybe a design, might not be. Some rockets have definitely caused this wind flow to occur. OTF though, again, we talked about them still sitting in first place at the moment, and they are losing some players.
That's huge though. If Oak is able to clutch this up. Oh no, it seems like these last 2 OTF players, they're just a nuisance. No, actually it's only Dwayne left in this base. He's got all the boom on him, if I'm not mistaken. He's probably, they have the AKs or the rockets with him. Yeah. They want to get deep into this base, make sure that they're able to get into that core, take those points.
That's what they want. They've been taking a lot of PvP points through this raid. They'll see, they'll get up towards this type of shooting floor. They'll get up towards, like you said, very, very open at the moment. So as we're approaching about hour 10 left in our raiding phase, almost a third already done. OTF again looking to strike once more here in towards, I believe, oof space. So we'll see what they can do. Dwayne still on the outside here. Lots of rockets continuing to go down. Actually, some of the stuff up top losing structural support. So a lot of this base just falling apart.
Yeah, and it's just chipping down bit by bit. And like in dominoes, maybe there's a critical point where it just all falls down.
Right.
And from there on, the entire building, the entire ride, or the entire building, just falls down at one point. And OTF are trying to search that weak point.
Searching, and they want to destroy here. OTF would be huge if they could get themselves yet another TC, especially how many PV points they have gained in this raid as well. We'll see though what they could do. Right now they are controlling some of the mid floor, some of not the bottom. Oof, I don't even know what you do here. There's so many teams around, there's so many players. I guess just respawn, try and fight your hardest. But OTF, they are, in the second to bottom floor here. They're clearing it on through. I'd have to guess it's honestly either, in the bottom of this core or maybe up near the roof. That's really the only place left it could be, I think, because a lot of this base is pretty open.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like Ufa just on the back leg at this moment. As OTF is just taking their time, making sure to clear out all of these players, and then they'll probably start coming back in with the boom, making sure that they're able to get to that TC quickly and efficiently. They're already at first place. If they take this TC, they're gonna have such a huge lead going forward.
Have a monster lead, but you said they're taking their time. They got to be a little bit careful because there are so many teams in this area. OTF, they put a lot of rockets, a lot of time into this base that, you know, if someone else comes in and steals it, if someone else, you know, puts that lucky rocket, gets that TC, which can happen, you know, you lose not only the resources and, you know, boom and other things that you put there, but the resource of time. For OTF, time has been a huge thing that they have done a really good job to utilize. You know, if you start, you know, losing bases one after another, it can kind of snowball your game in the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. It's this too rusty team. They're coming into counter too. They want in on the action. More boom coming through now. This base, it seems to just be an entire shark frenzy.
Yeah.
A lot of teams just coming in, all wanting in on the action, all wanting a part of the dead whale, essentially.
Yep, they want a part of it. They want to clear it on through here. Still in shambles. Nothing really Oof can do. At this point, they would need to clear out all of these teams, which is seeming like an impossible task. I will say their base is somewhat holding up. The design has kept them alive for now. I don't know how much longer it will, but it has for now.
It has been holding up pretty good, pretty decently. But I just don't think it's that they're going to be able to hold on for for way too long. These teams just getting really deep into the core. I hear some C4 going on towards the core, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's going towards the core.
They want to break through. They have that jump up there. They've cleared the bottom crates, and they will take 2 kills along with it here. Too rusty.
We're just one door away from core, yeah?
Yeah, 1 door away from core. 1 wall here could possibly be right here, and Too Rusty. They were a little bit active in that attack phase. They were in, you know, that hard point for a little bit of time, and they could really use this TC. I mean, they've been a little bit slow here in the raid phase to get some points, but they can find a TC here. Could be absolutely massive. Could be behind one of these doors. It's gonna open up here from the other side. That's just not good. They're gonna get a kill, and they're gonna get the door open.
And that now means that they know exactly where to go. They know exactly where to go. It's only that one door. They just need to bring in a boom and then finish it up. Oh wait, the TC wasn't there. It was all a bait. Is the TC somewhere else?
Has to be. I don't know truly where it is at the moment. This base in complete and utter shambles at the moment, as still some firing squads being put down all throughout this base here. Finally, it is going to be DTF.
And OTF getting it. They got it. Okay, that somehow they were able to get it. Too rusty. They must be in shambles right now. Just not getting food, not getting those points. As a lot of bases are being taken down at this very moment, all over the map.
Yeah. A lot of bases being taken down. VG, though, they want a raid over towards F9. They want to get some pressure towards this base. They have been putting it down. It looks like they've already gotten inside that outer compound, breaking their way through the bottom. They actually have a player up on the roof as well, checking for turrets, checking for players. There is some high quality material on that shooting floor on that second level, but that could be just some protection, you know, towards, you know, the side that your opponents are nearest to. But VG, they have control of a lot of this base at the moment. Jumping through the window. We'll see where they want to go from here. I assume they want to go down through the core. We'll see, though. Again, they can raid top down. They have a huge advantage here.
Yeah, exactly. And VG, they're just one of those teams. They decide to go for the core instead of going for the outside first and doing a lot of chip damage. They immediately just want to get in there where it hurts the most. And they're able to get there quite easily. F9, I do not quite know what they're able to do against this. They have to group up and then just try to retake it together.
be the plan. I'd also like to mention OTF. Even, though they just been huge. They get that grade, they get those kills as well. Such a lead they have built for themselves right now. Around 90 points, a little bit less than that, but huge. I mean, already starting off these first 30 minutes of the rating phase, very, very good. And if they can stay consistent, if, they can keep this up for another hour, this could be the dub for them.
And it seems like they're just still farming on the scoreboard. Their points are just going up and up and up. They're still working on extending that lead, maybe even getting 100 points lead. That would be absolutely insane going into that triple digits. But of course, there's some team looming quite close to them. Slick did that too, and they might even want to start a raid to even out the score a bit.
You gotta do something. If you're Slick, you're just gonna close the door on the VG player. Trapped down inside of this one. Just gonna chill out by themselves. Just wanted a lonely little room here. Does have the boom, so we'll be able to blow through some of these walls and make it not so lonely. Actually breaking down into a stairwell here. So a lot of access to different points now to the base here for VG on through the core. We'll see looking through the window. Is their other teammate there saying hi? How you doing over in that room?
Yeah, but they're getting closer and closer and closer. I'm wondering if they did a TC trick too, but it just doesn't seem like the base design for that. It seems like they're gonna be hitting that TC within minutes now.
It's definitely what it seems like. Breaking through these garage doors here, breaking through this stair set here. Get down towards the bottom part of the core. We'll kind of see what this base is looking like here. Breaking down through it. It looks like no TC just yet, but no extra things to protect them. They will walk into this garage door. We'll see if they can take it down as well. Obviously, they're going to rocket it there. Rocket damage reduced for PvP, so, can't really take out any players with that unless you're, chucking 10 rockets at them or something like that. That's not really an effective use of your resources. But, there you go. Breaking down through the garage door, breaking down through. And we're going to see, it looks like kind of an advent calendars type base where it could be, behind one of these outside doors. But I think they're missing the doors for the advent calendar.
Yeah, and the door's gonna get opened up so they can spare some boom or some of those rockets. Not having to use them. But yeah, they're getting so close to it now. I don't think there's any hope left here. They might even already been it. No, wait, there's no TC here. They haven't found it yet.
They will find some loot crates, so possibly some extra boom to revitalize this raid going on. Under an hour now for this raid phase to continue for all of these teams. Some high quality still up top, and it looks like this team has actually, they're trying to regain some, power all throughout their base, but it will be just, again, breaking through these garage doors. This advent calendar is missing some doors here on the outside that look like either they already have been cleared or they could have just not been placed if this team did not have enough resources. So right now they're breaking through the bottom of floor, nonetheless breaking through some of these garage door advent calendar type parts, putting some C4, putting some rockets down through it, and seeing if maybe they can get even closer towards that TC.
Yeah, and it's just oh, and they just managed to find it. VG getting it. This F9 will not get some more points.
Decent bit of points here for VG. We'll hop on over. Lots of raids, lots of red circles going on this map here as we focus on another one. It's going to be Rusty, actually, who was on the defense this time. We saw this team very active around the map, but now we're going to have to see them very active in their own base. See how the defense is mounted here, because it is another squad right on the outside that is looking to take them down.
Yeah, and luckily for them, their base is kind of deserted from any other teams, making sure that no other teams can just come in and counter raid really easily. It seems like a easy raid defense should be probable for them, as they're already cleaning up a lot of these Leech players.
And it looks like Leech didn't actually set up any real sort of raid platform. They're kind of just rushing on into this one. They will pick up a couple of kills at least nonetheless. They'll swing around once again. Got a 1v1 that Leech is gonna win. Picks up one. Still got the teammate back and healing. They got 3 players there, so possibly can get the trade on through.
It was
Leech with low
close.
HP bars, but able to pick up some nice PvP points. Now they're inside.
Yeah, but it's all after XB. XB is the last one here, and his position might even be known. He
The
just gets
angle.
in the corner.
Oh,
He doesn't
beautiful.
go for the trigger discipline. If I was him, I would have waited just a little bit longer. Now his position is known. He's going to have to creep his way around a lot of players already on his back. He has to leech his way in, but K8 takes him down as these two Rusty players, they're going to take control back of their own base.
Yeah, they'll get some control on back
And in the
here.
meantime,
is
Leech actually
gonna
gets
be
eliminated. How?
Valdia, they just a really good job to recognize Leech was not at their base. They go in, they swoop it up really, really quickly. And what a mistake on Leech's part there.
That's just a huge mistake. You cannot make that. And Kiauda, the team that we saw earlier on, or it was just why did that on his own? There was no one in that Leech base, and that's why they just lost their own. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Kiauda, the team that
Sure.
yeah, they were the team that early on took that lead. They've been falling down quite a lot recently, so getting that TC, that's some huge points to get them back in contesting for that top 10.
That's some huge points here. No, though, they've been racking up some points along the day, and they're looking to take out one of the top dogs in this top 10, currently sitting at number 4, and they are already in this top floor, already got control of the shooting floor, and they're looking to continue on through. Rockets NC4 along with it, going to rain down from these players. We'll find some more doors, as you know, Rust tradition. You break through a wall, you find some more doors. You break through a door, you find some more doors.
Exactly, and no, just wanting to show that they're the top dog on the server here. They might just not have that many points, but being able to take take down a huge giant like VG, that will make sure that these other teams just know that they're on the radar here and they're here to play too. They're not here to be messed with.
They are not. And they got a lot of time as well. They still got 54 minutes. Still could be anybody's game, not to dire time at any means just yet. And no, we did see them take a raid just a little bit earlier, so possibly sitting right outside of that top 10. But they're going to get this raid going through. They find some more garage doors going through, maybe accessing the core or something like it. All those garage doors are at least closed, so that is a good sign here. VG, though, are back to somewhat defense. So we'll see where they want to try and raid defense from, because, so much space has been taken by this no team, but it's going to be trades coming through. Some kills also picked up.
A lot of kills being picked up. A lot of these VG players going down one by one. As Noda just getting deeper and deeper. Destroying this base from the inside out.
Trying to destroy it from every which way they can here. Some trades coming through, and VG is going to be the one that wins this. No will pick up the trade kill there. We get themselves back in the core, trying to just continue the C4. We got a flopping body, we got a dance party going on here. A graveyard from all these bodies that are, oh, what does that move? That like the first stanky leg splits? I like it.
I want to learn that move. Where can I sign up to learn that move? I want that. I want to learn that in dance classes.
I don't. I'm not flexible enough. That's enough for me.
Dude, I'll just go on the dance floor in a club, and I'll just be doing that. I'll get all the bitches. I'll get all of them. Yeah, especially that one.
Rustoria Twitch stream, guys.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we still got a raid going on here. Still, again, VG trying to get this defense on. They've cleared out some of these no players on through. They've been forcing them to dance with their feet here and not with their guns. But yeah, it looks like they mostly actually cleared out all of these players. So actually going to be a pretty well-mounted defense. Looks like they should be able to clear out that raid platform as well. And VG, they're going to pick up some extra defense points and some PvP points as they are walking out.
Exactly. Being able to defend their base so easily. Somehow doesn't really trouble them. As HDMI are now gonna try to take this base, they're gonna try to take Big Kahuna down. They've already done a lot of chip damage going into this raid. as they now seem to be getting closer and closer to the core.
Yep, inching their way slowly throughout this base. We'll see what they can do. Obviously, HDMI in somewhat need of a raid, currently sitting in 4th place. Big Kahuna not currently in the top 10, but a team that has definitely been consistent in a lot of the past weeks of base invaders. Here in 6-mans, though, it is going to be this HDMI squad that is looking to, oh man, look at the hole they've already built themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting really deep into this. They might be able to take those points and they might be able to propel themselves back on top, back into that top 10 where they were earlier on. Or actually, no, sorry, they are top 4. Back into that top 2 where they were earlier on.
I always could use some more points here. Not the
But Kahuna's
nice
getting
little
close to that right place. What is going on here? Wait, he's just... Okay. So your sister is just boxed in there with a horse.
Yeah, so that's actually not allowed. That player not allowed to fully box himself in, I believe. So not sure what's gonna happen, but yeah, hopefully they can destroy that one. HDMI. They are, pushing forward. They've done a good job here to maintain their raid platform, keep their kits up here, and get some good pressure on forward. As they still got so many players here, so many respawns going through. HDMI, they've been a good job of managing those respawn timers, making sure they can funnel their players in well enough. And it will be Big Kahuna that, their base, again, it's about a fourth of the way gone.
Yeah, it's about a fourth. I would say that it's almost all of the way gone. But Asia might just have to hit the right spots, and then it is just all over. And they even still have a helicopter. So even if they do start to get taken down, that helicopter is gonna come in huge in order to perhaps retake high ground. As yeah, the boom starts coming in once again. They're starting to search for that TC. They want those points.
Yeah, they want those points. They're going to open up some of these advent calendar doors. Obviously, can be a little bit of a struggle for how many there are, but taken down to red HP, but still able to pick up the kill there for HDMI. They will take yet another. They've been doing a good job, not only on this raid, but able to just pick up some, some PvP points as well along the way, which is a huge thing. They're staying consistent. They moved themselves up 1 place during this raid. They're looking to do even more because we talk about you need to catch up. At this point, OTF, again, we're approaching kind of halfway through this raid phase. OTF still holding strong in that first place with what, like a 60, 70 point lead.
Yeah, exactly. And do you want to know what these raids remind me of? It just reminds me of that TV show where they have to guess something behind the door. I can't remember what it's called, but you just have to be lucky with behind what door you go, and there you go. Big Kahuna finding it, being able to take down, or actually getting taken down by HDMI.
HDMI, they will take down Big Kahuna. A long and arduous raid that results in a big prize at the end. They guessed the right door, like you were saying. They played the game show, they played it well, and they will be walking away with those 40 points. HDMI, a big jump, now sitting in 2nd place again. Still about a 60-point differential between them and the 1st place team of OTF. But we'll see if they can maybe, find another raid. It is definitely possible for them in these final 50 minutes, but it is going to be over here. OTF, they are not stopping. You talk about a raid for HDMI and some other teams like Slick around them. Talk about OTF once again. They don't want to stop. They want more points on the board, and they are looking at another raid towards Monkey.
Yeah, exactly, and I love what OTF are doing here. They're searching out their weaker targets. Those targets that are kind of singled out in the middle of nowhere, so that they don't really have anyone that tries to go for those counter raids. Or at least if anyone goes for those counter raids, there might just be a team or two, and that should easily be able to grant them a raid win. But they're getting taken down bit by bit as these Monkey players, they just want to fight for it, getting closer and closer. Boom shot now even getting as close as to the beds. Kane not spotting him, and boom shot's gonna take him down from behind. Boomshot now spotted out as all of these OTF players, they know his position. But he's just finding all of those kills, surviving his way all the way through Swain has now been spotted out too, and Boomshot smells blood, and he gets blood.
Boomshot is going absolutely nutty here, looking for even more, single-handedly clearing out these players. Boomshot looking for another, though, holding this wall angle. I'm going to swing around this stone wall at the moment. Low HP bars on the other. He picks up the first. Boomshot still gets away on red HP. Will still be able to most likely heal these OTF players, trying to clear out Boomshot
Oh
finally.
no.
After he takes out 3 of their players, will get taken down. OTF, they're in trouble like you were talked about. They have to back up to their raid platform.
Yeah,
You know,
and do they have enough
they do
raid
get a
kits?
breath, but
Yeah, they do get they need to take a little bit of a breather, make sure that they are able to reposition themselves. As Pingdiff, they don't really they have to reposition themselves too, but they're getting absolutely mauled by Saw on top. They are getting deeper and deeper into their base already.
yeah, so it looks like Saw, they're actually going to look for the foundation wipe. They're going to be able to pick up one of the kills on the other side, though. Obviously, there is a timer to pull out, you know, that gun between either the C4 or the rocket. So you can catch your opponents in those really bad timers where they do have those C4 or those rockets out. Pingdiff, though, the player trying to jump up will get denied. So right now it's Saw, they're just trying to foundation wipe. It can be a little bit cheaper. You see a little bit of high quality throughout this base. So, you know, if you're taking out that foundation, and it looks like actually talking about taking out, it is going to be armor. Sorry, armament. Excuse me. Taking out my slang.
Yeah, that's a huge point for Slick, getting themselves into second place. Now only 20 points away from OTF, and OTF, as we saw earlier, they were still busy with raiding. Hopefully for them, they're able to get that raid and get those points. So on top, just a random rocket on the top of that base.
Yeah, they're going to roof rocket. It looks like long range rocketing. Have to be very accurate with it as well. And now approaching, though, this halfway mark. So, you know, some time left on the clock, but time is starting to run out at the moment. And, you know, as we talk about it, as we get over this halfway mark, you talk about, you know, those easy bases, those bases are a little bit more isolated. You know, as time goes on and on, there's going to be less and less of those easy bases. It's all going to be like these top 10, top 15 teams that have very strong bases, a lot of points, and very experienced players.
That's exactly, and it seems like there's no helicopter coming in. Pingdiff see it though, and they're already starting to shoot. How many players are on there? That's what I'm wondering. Is there like just 1 or 2? No, it seems like there's an entire full squad on there. So wherever they land, they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on it. HQN, in the meantime, getting taken down by FXX. And actually, is that them getting taken down completely?
Yeah.
HQN now completely down. FXX being able to take down one of the top contesters this game really early on already.
Very early on, HQN. Oh, here, like you're saying, a top dog, and you can build up all those points, but it doesn't matter if you lose your TC. It is all for nothing. It is, you know, you don't count any of those points, you are eliminated. So unfortunately for HQM, FXX is a really good job, you know, picking their targets. They're able to pick one of those top teams that they wanted to go towards. And HDMI, they are picking another team that they want to go towards. Pingdiff, that's going to be the choice here for HDMI, currently sitting in 3rd place. But they're going to be building up some walls here into this open field as well to give them some cover. Some long-range rockets also going to be there. And you know, again, it is going to be a longer walk. They're going to have to take some time, build some of those walls. And that rocket, a little bit off target.
It's flying to Mars. It wants to hit a Elon Musk Elon Musk thingy on Mars. You know, one of those space colonies. He was trying to aim for that.
It wasn't a miss. It was just a calculated hit on a different place.
But there's actually 2 teams in contention for taking Pingdiff's base. They're just getting pummeled from 2 sides.
Yes, they are. are already losing some of that outer shell of their base here. Ping Diff, it is a very chonky base. They have been putting down the defense so far, already have some raids towards themselves. And obviously for them, this would be huge not only to pick up the defense, but pick up those defense points. Obviously right now sitting outside of the top 10, could really use some PvP points. Again, their foundation is a little bit weak at the moment. They are missing some of those pieces. And if more of that foundation starts to get blown, you're going to start seeing chunks of those base start to just fly off because it doesn't have that structure.
Yeah, exactly. And once those chunks just start flying off, it is easy pickings for the raiders. They should then easily be able to get to that, towards that TC, get towards that inner core, and take those points. But Ping Diff are still here to defend, getting sandwiched from 2 teams, and all of these rockets are just coming through. They are getting hit hard.
Yeah, they're laying down these rockets here and doing a good job as well to, recognize not only to break through that, mid section of the base to put some rockets towards it, but put some rockets towards that shooting floor. Don't give them that window protection. Make sure that if this team wants to peek you, they have to send their full body, put themselves in a full exposure to try and stop those rocketers. And these rockets are just continuing. They've broken up a decent little bit of hole, but I think they want to rocket a little bit more before they go inside. No real hole yet. They'll find a little bit there, and we can kind of start to see inside of the base. It's still looking good. It's still looking strong. And, rating from both sides, we'll have to see how Ping, tries to handle all this pressure.
Exactly, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a way towards the inside of the core over there with those jump floors. As once those teams start getting up there, they might just use that to get towards the inner core, but they're gonna have to shoot it down a bit more at this very moment before they really want to go in, as otherwise it would just be way too risky.
Yeah, it really, really would. But another squad are gonna be coming in to wipe out some of the players from behind, get some angles as well. Gonna be playing some tires, gonna be playing around this cover here, see what they can do with it. But it will be HDMI pushing in already. Think they want some action. They want to, capitalize on those rockets that they have been putting down for the last couple of minutes. So they're still kind of chilling out around the outer compound wall, but hopefully soon they can get on in again. Like you talked about, there is another team in the area. So if you are too slow with this raid, it could either be a repair from Ping Diff or a steal from their squad.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a race towards the TC. As Ping Diff, they are here to defend it all, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend it all if 2 teams are just coming at you. You might as well just give up. They will just probably be going for points. And points is something they need. They're not in the top 10. So getting there is going to be really hard for them.
That's going to be tough. But it's still available. 40 minutes left here for this squad. We'll see, though. Foundation is going to continue to be pestered. HDMI recognizing that there's some exposed foundation here. We're going to continue to blow through it. Another team already did some work on it. Oh! Inadvertently taking out another player with the C4. So mean, man.
Somehow he's able to take him down with that C4. Or he takes himself down. Sometimes you're just blind, Sometimes you're just too focused on other stuff, and then you forget the most important things.
Don't blow yourself up with some
Yeah.
Nonetheless, they'll put more pressure towards that foundation. Hopefully they can get some respawns going. And we're going to start very soon to see some of those chunks to start to fly off and cleared out. But HDMI, they're kind of clearing from 2 different directions. They're not only clearing from that foundation on the bottom, they're also, clearing through this mid sector, maybe through the core at the moment. Again, getting control of that roof, such a power point and such a start here from HDMI.
Yeah, exactly. Getting really deep into their base, just kind of getting under a nail, just being very annoying, making sure that they're able to defend it quite easily. There's a turret to defend all of that downstairs positioning, but it isn't really gonna matter. That foundation is being taken down a lot.
Yeah, and I can see why the team wanted to blow that foundation. It looked like when they blew through that outer wall, they saw a full wall on the inside of high quality metal. And they're like, nah, that is not worth our resources to blow through that. We're going to take out the foundation. We're going to slowly break through this one. And that's what they're going to continue to do for HDMI. Some C4 once again going to be layered on top of this foundation to try and take some of the chunks, some of the support off of this base. And they're getting really close, I would have to feel. They don't have to blow through that high quality if they blow through all this foundation. And as soon as those chunks start to fly off, you know, it's going to open things that possibly, you know, the team from PingDiff didn't expect to be opened.
Yeah, exactly. But it's taking a lot of time though. And now even if they are able to get it within the next, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes, they're still going to be a bit away from where they really want to be, and that's first place. Slick, they might just be starting to search for some points themselves too, in order to try to contest LTF.
I think that whole bottom floor, that whole bottom 2 floors of the core is actually high quality. So I think it's a really smart choice to do the foundation because, again, high quality takes so much resources to blow through. If you can just blow through the foundation, take out a whole chunk instead. Foundation obviously a little bit stronger than other pieces of the base, but you know, it's going to be foundation. We're talking about it is going to be HDMI continuing layering on this C4 back and forth. We're going to start to see this base fall apart, hopefully. I love to see it. Foundation wipes are also, you know, just the best viewing experience because you get to literally see the base fall apart.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like these Soren top players, they are here to contest this, so they have to start coming in pretty soon. If they might want to try to steal those points away from HDMI. As HDMI, you have to remember, they are a team that are pretty far away from this base, so if they get taken down, Soren top might be able to just take it. But the inner core is being taken, and Ping
there
Diff,
you go.
they're gonna be eliminated by Soren top actually. No, Soren top took it. HDMI wasn't able to take it.
Stole it.
Somehow they are able to take those, they're able to steal those points, and HDMI, that must be very disappointing. That was gonna secure them second place, and it was gonna secure them some longer time in this top 3, because FFX still looming closer and closer.
I know that one really hurts from HDMI. I mean, you invested so much into that raid. Not only, I'd have to say over half of your boom, I would have to say, in their total like inventory from what they farmed up, because that was a lot. And then added onto that, the time. I mean, they were on that for what, like 15 minutes? That's a lot of time where, you know, they could have been raiding another base. They decided to go through the foundation, and it's just stolen away in the end.
Yeah, and here we see OTF now, the Kings having to defend their castle, as it seems like 2 teams are getting closer and closer to it. Monkey and 2 Rust. Both of them wanting a piece of the cake.
What kind of cake are we talking about? That's the real question.
We're talking a big juicy one. Like one that just like, I don't know exactly which one though. What is your favorite cake? Or a wedding cake?
Okay. I'm like a chocolate cake. I'm kind of basic in that. And that's unless we're talking like technical, because I like cheesecake. But is that a really a cake?
Yeah, but cheesecake is a cake. I feel like I would. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've had some good cheesecake before. I dig it. I feel like my favorite cake would probably be something like a dime cheesecake, or yeah, or a dime cake or something. I don't know. Something with caramel and some chocolate. Yeah. As long as it's not dark chocolate. I hate that. Whoever eats that stuff is a bio-human being in my eyes.
Well, nonetheless, the teams are looking to take this chocolate cheesecake here and see if they can take some points as well with it. Approaching about 30 minutes left here, a third of the way left in this raid phase, so time is starting to run out. And you know, it's like we've been seeing that these top dogs, you know, these teams in first, second, and third, they're going to start to become a target because, you know, if you're OTF, you have to again have some players back to defense because, you know, you're what, 50 points ahead. If you're Slick, if you're HDMI, if you're one of these other top teams and you're like, okay, we might not be able to raid another team right now. If we raid this top team, we not only take out a team above us, but we get 40 points as well. So you have to be even more cognizant of the teams around you right now.
Yeah, and as well, you make sure that they are even closer to get eliminated. And maybe even eliminating those top teams earlier on in the game, that will make sure that you're able to just, you might be able to just make a comeback and get yourself into their position.
That constant back and forth. We've also seen, you know, as it gets closer towards the end, as teams get a little bit more defensive, that does open the door for other teams. Because if you're on the defense, you know, yes, you're getting defense points. Yes, you're possibly getting PvP points, but there is the opportunity for those other teams that might not have as big as a target on their back to make that comeback. But, you know, having more points is always a little bit nicer, which is what OTF will still have. They've been such a consistent team throughout the day so far. The question is, can they hold it for these final 30 minutes?
Rusty now starting to come in. They want a piece of the pie. Or a piece of the cake, I'm sorry.
Chocolate cheesecake.
And the TC still hasn't been found, so they still might be able to pick up those points. Monkey not having to defend the base for themselves. Let's see if they can do a better job than OTF did.
Question here, we'll see what they can do here. Got some crates open, looks like they're going to destroy them and hopefully get some loot from them. That's obviously a big thing that we haven't mentioned, that, you know, when you are raiding, getting those crates are very, very important because they give you back some boom. You only have a certain amount that you farmed up from the start, so, you know, getting those extra kits, getting that extra boom, stealing that away from your opponents can be really huge. It's not just about that TC, it's also about, you know, replenishing your resources, so, you know, maybe in those final 20 or 50 minutes you're just not out of resources totally.
Yeah, exactly, and going for a target like OTF as well, a target that has been fighting the entire time, taking down bases and then taking down those rockets with them. It might be a high value target, being able to take down those rockets. And in the meantime, yeah, actually gets eliminated by Slick. Slick now putting themselves far in that top 2 position. They are contesting towards OTF. And OTF, they still have to defend their base in the meantime. They're not going to be able to hunt for any real big points. Slick taking advantage of that.
Slick, huge. Second place, 20 points, pretty much separating them and OTF right now. HDMI a little bit further behind, about 60 points there behind Slick. But now under the 30-minute marker, under a third of this raid phase is left for these teams. And once that time hits 0, now you get no more time. Obviously, there will be more time later. Our NA event will be going on around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want to make sure to tune into that one. But for right now, our EU event still 30 minutes left in this one for these teams to try and secure some of that money, some of that pride, you know, just have some more fun.
Yeah, exactly, and I hope these players on the server are having fun, as it seems like it's just constant PvP, constant raiding. Something I would be down to play this. I have not tried to play in something like this, and I would love to try something like this out. Usually when I play Rust, I just play it on my own, and I just get eliminated the entire time in the beginning of a game, and it just... Yeah, it's just like 2 hours of running around trying to find a base spot, and then while getting there, getting killed. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. I'm not great as well, but it's also, you know, it's like you said, if you are interested, if anybody is interested in playing these, make sure to join the Base Invaders Discord. You can join up with your teams. We have varying team size, week after week. So, you know, it could be 3-mans one week, it could be 6-mans. You can get a bunch of your groups of friends. Have some fun, even if you don't do well, like we talked about, you know, that's what it's all about, just having some fun today. We're gonna be moving on here.
And definitely that raid has been going on for a while now. Let's head towards something different and see if we can find a bit more of a active raid, a raid that is a bit closer to really happening. And HMI, they're still raiding So on Top. They still haven't made their move yet. As So on Top, they might be on their last leg.
Yeah, It's definitely possible. Also, I know it is one of your first cast DW over here on Base Invaders, but you get used to, every time, we switch off a raid, it's beautiful. It's like our observers, they spend so much time on a raid, and then as soon as we hop off, that is when the teams will finally decide to take it. So might get used to that as well. But
Yeah,
like you
but
said, keep going on.
I'm loving this though. I'm absolutely loving the constant action that's going on in this tournament. Like I usually cast something like CS or Valorant, and they just have those times when nothing is really happening, and here it's just constant fighting, constant people just taking each other down, and just constant action.
That's what it is, and it's good to have you here as well. Let's go these final 30 minutes because it is going to get intense. Still kind of a horse race up at the top between OTF and Slick. A team fight there, won by HDMI, taking one of those kills and continuing on through. Again, HDMI put a lot of resources into their other base that they did not end up getting, so you really need to get this base. They really need to find those chests as well to probably replenish their boom, because I have to imagine they're running a little bit low.
Yeah, I think so too. And running low here in the late game, that might be a real problem. Because if you're running low, you're not going to be able to go for any more bases. You're not going to be able to go for any more big points. And that's something HDMI are in desperate need for if they want to win this. They are still in a contention for it, but they need those points desperately.
Those points, they need to stay on top of the resource management here, and it is going to be Saw on top. They will find it. Oh, what
and Saw on top will be eliminated with that too.
Just outside of the view, unfortunate. Again, our observers, they just get cursed every time. Every time.
Not much going on right now. I feel like most of these teams are probably just resetting for those last final raids, which I think they're probably gonna come around the 20-minute mark. As Monkey, they are still fighting for a raid against two Rusty that are gonna have to defend here. Or it's still OTF. This is still OTF having to defend their base. None of these teams haven't gotten into the core, but a lot of boom coming through, as it seems to be getting chipped down bit by bit. OTF though, being in such a constant fight, they've been able to farm up points constantly. We saw Slick earlier on; they were able to take down the TC, and HDMI won too. But they're still 40 points away. They still have to take down an entire TC in order to even come close to OTF.
Unless OTF falls. That's the big thing. If OTF can't hold down that defense, all of those points are for nothing. They'll be out. They'll be nothing. And, we talked about that. These top teams, they're going to start being the target here in these final 30 minutes. We already see 3 of the top 10 teams eliminated. So, they are dropping like flies. And it could be OTF next if they're not careful on the defense. A lot of teams taking note of where they are on the map and putting resources towards them. Again, this would be huge for either Slick or HDMI to not, even if they don't take it themselves, just to get that team eliminated above them.
Yes, exactly. There's even another player of Kivauda now joining in. That's a team that I haven't seen too much at this rate so far. I feel like there's probably 4 or 5 teams going over here at this rate, all trying to find that TC. Or trying to guess what's behind the door.
What is behind door number 1? Probably another door. That's what I would have to assume. That's what we assume in Base Invaders. OTF, though, they are sending Dwayne to try and clear out this team of no. So many teams in the area. Monkeys here, 2 Rusties here. A lot of teams, and you're talking about with 6-mans, that pressure grows exponentially with each team because it is 6. That's that many more Rocketers, that much more. But right now, again, their base design has been holding strong. We gotta kind of mention it that if they find a way to hold up, if they find a way to defend this base, they're gonna get so much great defense points.
Again, that within these last 2 minutes or 3 minutes that we've been talking, they've already farmed up another 10-15 points, as they are just getting further and further away from Slick now. absolute war zone. Slick are here now too. They want to fight for these points now too. They might, if Slick if Slick are able to if come in and retake this, and if they are then able to take down OTF's TC, they might be able to get themselves into first place.
That would be massive, actually, for themselves to take it. But yeah, OTF, I don't know how they're defending this well. Honestly, 4 teams in the area. Somehow, everything is getting rocketed. All of those advent calendar doors being blown off. There's a team on each side, too. So, usually when we talk about it, the more teams that hop onto a raid, actually, the worse it gets out towards the top because those teams are kind of fighting each other out on the outer grounds of this one. But they're all attacking from a different side. I mean, you can see that every single piece of this base is getting destroyed and taken down. And still, OTF is finding a way to hold down for the moment. The base is holding strong. How much longer can they hold this?
Yeah, exactly. And I think for OTF, it's just a matter of time to for whenever they're gonna get for whenever that TC is gonna get destroyed. But for them, what is important right here is just keeping control of that top of the base, being able to respawn time and time again, and being able to farm up those points going forward and make sure that that lead grows so much that even if Slick, on the off chance that even if Slick are able to take down that TC, that they still have that lead.
Yeah, 100%. And they also have the advantage of they know where the TC is, so they know where they can repair, they know where they can defend the most. Obviously, you even see Mango, even in all of the chaos, throwing rockets back to try and destroy those raid platforms from No, just slowly trying to take out these other teams. So, just trying to do anything to stall out these other teams and just stop them from putting down these relentless rockets. No, just pushing forward though as well. They have pretty much no outer compound wall at the moment. All of that been destroyed except 2 little pieces of it. But right now, again, still holding strong, still finding a way to defend.
And these Slick players, they're getting in here now. They want a piece of the pie. They want to get towards that TC. They are starting to deploy their boom. They are the team that's currently taking action towards taking down that TC. All of these teams here, they've been playing really passive, but Slick, knowing that they are on the verge of taking that first place, they know that they have to take action right now and right here.
And I'd like to see OTF, hopefully they take some action, try and fight off some of these players, maybe find them in those animation time angles where they have those C4s out or have those rockets out. But yeah, it's like I said, all these other teams playing it a little bit slow. Finally, everyone just looks like they are rushing into this one. They realize, that team of Slick is in. It's time for us to go in. OTF, what do they even do here? Because 4 teams all pushing towards their base.
Yeah, but still, they're going to be able to get a lot of points with all of those teams being down there on the low ground. If they just respawn back on top of their base, they're just able to shoot down on them, and then it should be easy pickings, easy kills for them. As their TC, it will definitely go down no matter what. They should know that. They just need to fight for points here. But it could still take a bit before it even gets found. And the longer it goes on, the more points they're going to be able to farm.
Oh, so many bodies here laying outside of this base. OTF just trying to hold something. Again, they have the advantage. They know where their TC is. If I'm them, I'm putting a bunker defense right around that TC. I am defending it with my life. 20 minutes is, like you said, is what they have to defend, to hold on. They've been farming up points so clean on the PvP, but what can they do here? I mean, they just have to get towards their TC. They just have to play real close to it. That may, give away the location of it, but I think they just have to put their bodies on the line.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, those Slick players coming in with another attack, contesting the No players that have won their way into the core of the base. It's just a parasite fest. It's like whenever you have that animal in nature, and there's just a lot of little maggots on them, and it seems like OTF, they're gonna be eliminated, but no, picking up those points, that's huge for them. They've now landed themselves into that top 10 position, or actually into the top 6 actually.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I mean, you got to give it to OTF. What a valiant effort all throughout the day today. Deservedly in that, first place spot. Obviously, none of their points are going to count after this, but they did such a good job. I don't think they should be ashamed at all because they racked up 400 points, more than any other team at the moment. They took so many TCs, and, they just had that big a target on their back. I think that's a sign of respect for all these other teams that, they had done so well that they needed to be taken out. Excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. And now over here on the other side of the map, we see FXX trying to get their way into HHH base, searching for a weaker target, but XXX, or FFX, they weren't the team that decided to go for that counter raid earlier on, where a lot of points were spilled, and that might have cost them dearly because they were in the contention for being able to fight for that top 3 position, and now they're just so far away from HDMI. 100 points and only 70 minutes left. What can you do here?
Now you gotta go try and do something. It could possibly be, maybe you set your sights on Slick. Maybe that's the choice you have to make here. But for right now, this raid going on through a lot of high quality, actually. But, there's doors on that, so they're able to break through those a little bit softer targets on it. So we'll see where they decide to go for FXX, a team that currently is sitting in 3rd place for themselves. A little bit far away. And like you said, it's a little bit of a separation between it right now. And HHH able to pick up one of those kills. So that C4 going down, taking out some of the doors inside this inner core. But, FXX really needing a TC right now. Again, running out of time. Still a big differential between them and first.
Yeah, exactly. And if you FFX say it, you want to take down that TC really quickly. But Lamborghini just running around there with that N249 like Rambo, shooting everyone up. Making these players, these FFX players have a hard time. There's only 2 of them left, if I'm right. 2 or 3.
Yeah.
This has gotten out of hand. I think this was just a very desperate attempt of FXX trying to go for this base. As these HHH players, they seem to be able to just hold it down without a single problem.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. I don't think they put their full resources towards it. So I think, it's just them trying to target an easy base. We talked about, it is only really tough bases to raid, but, it's going to be a raid, it looks like, from Monkey here. Only 1 player. So I thought it was going to be more exciting, but yeah, just 1 player flying on in here.
Luigi, I think he probably hopes that there's no players of no in this base. That just confused the hell out of me, and he just probably wants to go for that TC and perhaps go for those points to propel them a bit further onto that scoreboard. But of course, there's already players here. Luigi still is able to get 1, and he gets taken down. Yeah. Desperate attempt, but it was worth a try. Yeah, why not try it? Right. Meanwhile, over here we have a big fight though. HDMI wanting to get some points, trying to go for VG. VG, one of the last teams standing, and VG2, one of those teams being in this on this scoreboard.
Yes, they are. They are up in there. Either right now, as it is HDMI on this low ground, it looks like. Once again, they have put a lot of resources towards different places, and again, that foundation wipe I think hurt them the most. They didn't get to recover fully from it. We'll see what they do with this one, laddered on up into this kind of 2nd floor area. For doors, I guess that's pretty much what they're breaking through right now. It's kind of somewhat of a desperate attempt, but if they get a TC or maybe even 2, they could catch Slick. So we'll have to see, if Slick can hold on to this lead, or maybe HDMI, because that top team of OTF did get eliminated, they're somehow in the running.
Yeah, and now it's just all up to how much boom they have left. HDMI, they might just be on that point where they don't have too much boom, and they're going for a desperate play. If they want to be able to catch up to Slick, and they should be able to catch up to Slick if they are able to take this TC, they need enough boom though. If they're not able to if they're not going to be able to do that, then they're just going to stay on this position of 3rd.
Very true here. We'll see what they can do though. Destroying some more doors. I wonder what's behind this door. It could possibly be another door.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
Or it could be a
It's a
TC.
wall.
We saw some TCs being placed on top of the base or on the upper part of the base early on. So you never know.
Never know. Yeah.
It might be
Like
worth a
it's
try.
like a 50-50. Not really a 50-50. It's like a 50-50 between a
Uh,
door and a wall, and then maybe a TC. Maybe you're happy, or maybe you're just blow open and you're like, oh, another door. I'm still sad.
yeah, exactly. I think counting all the doors, it would probably be a 50 to 1 chance having getting towards a TC. Maybe yeah, 1 to 100 chance perhaps.
Yeah.
It's a very small margin, but of course you can try your luck. HDMI seeming like they're gambling mans or gambling men.
Yeah, it's just trying to find something that makes you happy. You know, like every time you blow open a door, you're like, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the chance. It's like the whatever the statistic, like, I can't even remember, but they
Sometimes you just hope for that tingle of like,
oh
oh yeah, that tingle, yeah, this is it.
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna do
it.
it.
This is it. No, no, it's not.
Yeah, and in Valorant or CS:GO, you have that tingle too. Like whenever you're holding an angle and you just want to look away, and you just keep on holding that angle, that very tingle of like,
Yeah.
okay, now I should not be looking away. I usually get that a lot of times too, and in Rust it seems like it's the same story, just a little bit different.
Understandable. We'll see if they can find that here, though. See if they can find that single to find that TC because they're running out of time to do so. 11.5 minutes to work with at the moment. Here's there again. Got control of the shooting floor right now, and it is actually going to be
Ooh,
no. So we thought it was actually going to be, HDMI to move forward. It's actually going to be Slick to move up into that first place spot. They were already in there, but now extending their lead up to about 80 points.
yeah, Slick doing great in the late game. Earlier on, they were contesting for that for OTS base, and now they've been able to contest a different base, and actually being able to take down that TC will propel them into first place. And Slick, they are doing a great job here in the late game, making sure to get their points wherever they can. As FFX now need to get some too, going up against HH8, but that raid, it seems like it's already over.
Yeah, pretty much seems that way. We'll see if it can maybe bounce back here from Slick. See what they're doing. Oh, driving through. They're transporting, going for a little
Just
mid-journey
listen to
car
some,
ride here.
yeah, just listening to some tunes,
Yeah.
having a breath of fresh air in the car. You know, when you just want to take a break from everything, you just have a little ride in the car. It seems to be doing the same.
And go down the Rust Highway. Take some relaxing here from Slick, though. They are not relaxing by any means. They are continuing to hold down their lead. We'll see again. Now they have the target on their back, so it will be interesting. If teams like HDMI, FXX, if they want to get back in the game, now I think, honestly, their only option is really to go and raid that team of Slick, take them down, and you only have 10 minutes to do so. Other teams, it's just going to be, at this point, it's just a confidence booster. It's just having some fun to try and maybe get one more raid, maybe one more good fight off.
Yeah, maybe just get a raid on the scoreboard. Just get that score on there. Not make it seem like you did too poorly. Boost those stats. That's always really nice. But Slick, even if a team starts to go for that raid towards Slick, I don't think they're gonna have enough time to find that TC unless they get incredibly lucky. And unless a team gets incredibly lucky against them, I don't think anyone is really going to be able to contest them. They are a lot of points away from HDMI, and they're probably gonna go for another raid. As we already hear Team 2 Rusty going for a raid against Kivalda. These picks coming through over on that Kivalda side, able to defend their base.
Able to defend it for now here. Able to get some of those kits back, get some of those weaponry back into their own inventory instead onto the other side. To Rusty again, this would be a big raid for them. I don't think they can fully come back in this game, but again, it's just a confidence thing. If you can maybe boost yourself up a couple more places on the leaderboard, why not get some more practice raiding possibly for next week
Exactly.
or just some Rust in general.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you're losing, and no matter what, trying your best and still trying to get some learning experience out of it, it's always worth it. We're just checking for some raids over here, trying to see if you can find anything. And Slick, they're raiding Monkey again. They just wanna, want all of these points. They just want it now.
I love it. I love to see it from Slick. I hope they have a player back. That's the only hope, is I hope they have 1 or 2 players back. Make sure, again, we talk about that lurker, that siren player, whatever you want to call them, have them there just in case the team does try to target them. But yeah, this raid is already looking good, actually. They're already kind of inside this mid area. It's a nice kind of chunky looking base, but you know, we have seen Slick before take down good looking bases.
Yeah, and Slick just having built up so much C4 from just taking down bases one by one, and they've been able to build up a lot of that. And now they're just going to be able to take down every single team and go for all of these points. What they've been doing this late game, it's huge. They've been just showing that they are excellent at winning this, at closing these games out.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, they didn't actually get the successful raid against OTF, but it was just the matter that they helped take them down. That they were the extra pressure, you know, putting extra rockets down, maybe trying to sneak it away. They are going in through a little bit different angles here. Monkey, they're trying to open up some of the garage doors, hold down their roof, so still a power point for them. But yeah, we saw, I mean, again, these Slick players already inside, already breaking on through with the C4, with these rockets. And they will continue to go on through. Like you said, they are not stopping. They want all the points in the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't even matter if they don't get this TC. They, of course, only have 6 minutes to do that. It's not a lot of time. But even if they don't, who really cares? This is kind of just a fight for fun, I think. Yeah. To be honest, it feels like it's already over. No team should be able to catch up to Slick unless HDMI comes in here, cleans up Slick, takes this TC as it's about to go down. I don't see anyone really getting close to them.
That's what it has to be. It has to be HDMI. Their final choice has to be to target Slick. Slick, obviously, this raid could get them over 500 points, which is a pretty big milestone to hit for any team, even in 6v6s where there is some more PvP points available. But nonetheless, they are, again, down in the second floor. Monkey still has control of the top floor. They also have a little bit of an angle ahead of them, so have to be careful. Again, there are those timers where, you know, you're pulling out your rocket, you're pulling out your C4, and you can get caught in that animation, something you don't want to do if you are on the side of Slick. But that C4 gonna blow through multiple levels here and just give them some more walls.
That's deep. That's deep. Well, that's what she said, I guess. But I see HDMI getting some points too in the meantime over on that right side. I feel like they're probably trying to raid a team too. If they are like, they're not counter-raiding this, so they should be going for a raid too. And that might just be able to make sure, or make them be able to fight for that top 1 position. Yeah. And that might just have to put Slick onto the back foot.
And Slick does have to be a little bit careful, like you said. It's not the biggest lead, you know. It is still 70 points, it's still a little bit, but you know, if HDMI, if they find some PvP points, we know they've shown before that they can take those fights, they can win them. They can maybe take a TC as well. They could put themselves in a really good position. But I think at this point, again, I think they need to target Slick. Slick mostly has left out of here. They have a couple players still sticking around. Some other raids going through. One in the middle, one down in the bottom. We'll check the middle one, see what is going on here. Looks like it is too rusty.
There isn't much going on over there. And this is the one I was wondering about. Yeah, HDMI, but they are still at the exact same point as they were on earlier, and VG, they seem to be defending this raid really well.
Yeah,
HDMI really trying to get from, yeah, they've been trying to worm their way in from the downstairs. Seems like they haven't really found too many openings though, or actually, they are still at the exact same point as they were on earlier.
100%.
They haven't gone any deeper.
Got some of the doors off, but other than that, nothing really else going on. So really, it's only Slick that are pushing forward to try and take out this Monkey team. It looks like Too Rusty is also kind of banking around, bouncing around a couple different bases, bouncing around the leaderboard as well. They were at 4th. I think they dropped down to 5th here, slowing down a little bit by VG, who got a successful, you know, defense, so they get some of those extra defense points off. But for Slick, they are now trying to just finish this game out. Like you talked about, 3.5 minutes, not a lot of time for any other team to try and catch them. see if maybe they can find even another to, boost themselves over that 500 point mark.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I'm right, but even so, an HDMI player just getting in here, getting himself into this raid too, maybe hoping that he could find the TC while no one was looking. He unfortunately got found though.
Ooh. A lot of C4. They
It's
brought it
just
with
a
them.
C4 fest. If you
Yeah.
like explosions or if you like fireworks, come tune in. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, and they're gonna get some fireworks in the PvP category as well, picking up one of those kills, closing that garage door up top though, shutting down that angle. They could open that at any point and get a nice angle on them, but their base is starting to fall apart for Slick here. They got 2.5 minutes to get this raid off successfully, but and they've just been blowing through it. They brought all their C4. I think they have nothing to lose.
Exactly, and something I wonder, with all of that C4 going through, like, doesn't your PC or don't your frames just absolutely melt? How do you even see in game? How
You
would you
don't.
even be able to have proper PvP? I feel like that's something the Rust developers might have to optimize someday.
Rest of
That would actually be cool, seeing that being
optimizing the rest.
optimized and then these tournaments being able to get even bigger. Like, imagine that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm not 100% sure if we'll ever get it, but
Yeah, but I feel like the Rust developers, they are trying to do their best in terms of
yeah,
updates. They're doing a lot of them, and that's something that you don't see in every single game. CS:GO, Valve, get on your fucking shit already, Source 2. Sorry for swearing there. It's something that lies deep in my heart.
I can understand that. I can also understand the leaderboard. Slick still standing strong. We got 1 minute left on the board for this squad to try and finish off their victory. Again, they've been strong all day long, not taken down, but helping taking down OTF and HDMI and some other teams close, but I think they're just gonna drop too short.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is that it's gonna be it. Even if HDMI are able to take down that TC in their raid, they're not gonna be able to do this. They're not gonna be able to take down Slick. Slick being 80 points ahead, that TC would put them about 20 to 30 points closer to them, but or towards them. And I don't think that that's gonna be enough. That's 20 to 30 kills, and you're not gonna be able to pick that up in 30 seconds. So Slick probably taking it this time.
Yep, that's what it does seem like. 30 seconds left on the clock here for any teams to get their final PvP points or final whatever fun they want to get into. The leaderboard looking very, very short. I mean, only 8 teams in total surviving towards the end. And as time will tick down here, it will be Slick after all of their hard work. They'll be taking home the dub today after getting so many of those success raids. I'd love to see their stats, but there we go. Time has expired. The leaderboard's going to finalize there. Slick going to win in first place, 486 points.
And 335 kills. That is a whole lot. I mean, I've expected them to have a lot of kills, but 335, that's a lot. And I
Yeah.
can't quite see how many TCs they've taken down. They've been able to take down three TCs, so they've fought a lot to get those points, and just constant fighting. Make sure that you're able to get that many kills, and then in the meantime get a couple TCs too. But those TCs, they kind of seem like a fraction compared to their total kills, or compared to the points they've gotten from kills.
Yeah, it really does seem that way. I mean, Nikita also, I didn't notice they were on that team, and a very experienced player. Showing their experience here today, showing that dub, Slicking to take first place. I'd like to take a look at HDMI, though, in second place. They're not a bad date for them. Really, really good on the leaderboard, second place overall. Okay, yeah, so can't see that. But yeah, so HDMI second, VG third, FXX fourth, and 2 Rusty fifth. Again, only 8 teams overall, TW, surviving towards the end.
Yeah, that's not a lot. It kind of seemed more like a battle royale than anything else. And but we did get to see some really nice Rust. Just a lot of action all around, and Yeah, that was just amazing to watch, amazing to be part of.
Was really, really amazing, man. What a day of Rustoria base invaders. And TW, you got any kind of final words before we kind of end it off and everything?
I want to say congratulations to all of these teams. Congratulations to Slick for being able to pull out the W. And I hope that everyone had a great time watching the stream. And I hope that I'll be able to cast for you guys more, and that we'll be able to that we'll be able to watch more of these amazing games.
Well, it was great to have you on. We hope to have you back again. A huge thank you to all the players for coming in, participating today. Obviously, Ian, behind the scenes, the production, the observing, everything, getting the best feed out to you guys. Got to appreciate that. TW, obviously, on the cast, along with myself. Again, a huge thank you to Rusty Butt for sponsoring today's prize pool and Rustoria for supplying the servers for these amazing players to play on. Again, NA will be a little bit later, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to participate in that or participate in future events, make sure to join the Discord. But I have been Llama77. Join with TW for Base Invaders EU 6-mans. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all on the next one.
Bye.